All right.
The equation E is equal mc square, in which energy is put equal to mass multiplied with the square of the velocity of light, showed that very small amount of mass may be converted into a very large amount of energy, and vice versa. The mass and energy were in fact equivalent, according to the formula mentioned above. This was demonstrated by Proctor and Walton in 1932 experimentally.
It's a conspiracy, man!
You've got it right here. S4 with E squared in conjunction with Spaced Out Radio.
Alien contact. S4. UFOs. Bigfoot. 9/11. Greys. The Illuminati. Cover-ups. RH negative blood. What are they hiding from?
Sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Now, the men behind the mics, Forest Moon Paranormal's Eric Cooper and the SOR Spacewire's Eric Markham. You can find more at spacedoutradio.com.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Now, let's travel into the universe. It's S4 with E squared.
All right, good evening. You got Eric Cooper with Forest Moon Paranormal and Eric Markham with the Spaced Out Radio Newswire. How you doing tonight, Eric?
How about you, Lee? Everything
All right,
settled?
we're good.
And
All right, we have to do our disclaimer real quick. The opinions and views of S4 with E squared do not reflect those of Spaced Out Radio. You can't get those guys in trouble. They are our yeah, we love Spaced Out Radio. You can listen to Dave Scott every night, Monday through Friday, 9 to midnight Pacific Standard Time. Don't miss them. And we're in conjunction with them as you heard, but we are separate. So you got your coffee, Eric? Are you with me, Eric?
yes, I do.
Okay, you got your water.
Caffeinated is ready. Yep, I'm there. You get me?
All right, so we're going to change things up a little bit tonight. It kind of in memory of one of my Forest Moon members that is on her deathbed. I'm going to go into a little bit of the history. Forest Moon Grove is the headquarters group for Forest Moon Paranormal. Forest Moon Paranormal's been up and running since about 2006. Forest Moon Grove is our pagan network that started when I was in Iraq in 2004. Now, a lot of the paranormal members were with us since 2004. So basically, about 80% of Forest Moon Paranormal is pagan. We are a mix of religions, but the core is pagan, as I said, and it started in Iraq. So we also have a Forest Moon Paranormal member that just passed on last week as well. So this is kind of in memory of them. Um, so how's our chat room look? We are live. This is our first actual show under Spaced Out Radio. Are you in the chat room, Markham?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't think they found us yet, but they will once they're probably on one of the old shows in one of the old chat rooms.
They could be, and that's fine. They'll find us, like you said, but this will be on record, just so they can go back and listen later. So let's talk Paracon for a second, and I do have our schedule for S4 as well. Paracon, if you haven't heard about it, October 22nd, 23rd here in Concrete, Washington. It's going to be awesome. We're still getting vendors. We did have one of our speakers drop out. Selena Roan from Texas will not be with us, but that's okay. She has other things going on. She'll be here next year. You gonna make it? You're not gonna make it to Paracon, are you?
No, our new laboratory information system classes and not in class. I'm probably be covering for somebody who is. I'll be there next year.
Indeed.
It'll get
better with time. So
Paracon, it was just bad timing this year.
Indeed. Paracon is 2 days. If it goes great as I expect it to this year, we might make it a 4-day weekend. We'll see how it goes. So I've been added into the speaker list now. I'll be doing UFO history and abduction history. We've got Dave Scott. He's going to be doing experiencers. We've got Russ and S.J. Wells. They'll be doing ghostology and the dangers of the paranormal. We have Joe Teeples, who will be doing, he's an author, he'll be doing Ghostology 101. We have Raven Christina Corvus. She's doing psychology as well as case management. We have Derek Tyler, who's doing alien abduction and My Labs. We have Tyler Allen Standing Bear. He's our Bigfoot specialist in Forest Moon. He's doing, Bigfoot. And if he recovers nicely from his surgery, he'll be doing a Bigfoot hike for 10 people. They get their name drawn out of a hat. This is free, by the way, with the exception of the VIP roundtable. Those tickets are $25 for 20 people. And that will be Saturday night, the 22nd. And they get to sit and listen to me grill the speakers with a series of questions. I'll be answering the questions as well as a speaker. But you can't miss out on that. It's only $25 for a ticket. You get to sit there and rub elbows with the speakers and ask some questions personally. And then immediately afterwards, there's a paranormal walk and talk through concrete with Sandy and Russ. They've actually personally investigated every building in concrete and have evidence and verified that this town is haunted. So that's where we stand with that. Tyler's also going to be doing a plaster casting class, how to properly do a Bigfoot cast, and it's going to be awesome. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be vendors. If you would like to vend, get a hold of me directly on Facebook or through Forest Moon Paranormal, and we'll get you set up. Vendors are only $20 for both days. So you got anything to add, Markham?
Oh, nothing
So
along
what
the
have you done on?
lines yet. Wish I could hear is all I can say. I'm really gonna be missing it.
But like I said, there is always next year, and we already have speakers
All
coming
right.
up. I already have speakers wanting to speak next year, so we'll see how it goes. Chronicles of the Unknown, Glenn Ferguson's going to be coming down with his team. They're going to be sitting on the round table as well. So, you have the reason we got Illuminati is because we do run a missing persons division within Forest Moon, and it turns out one of our missing people cases was actually abducted by Illuminati members. Now, there's an Illuminati website that, let's see,
Wow.
let's discuss the definition of the Illuminati. Is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, which is an Enlightenment era secret society founded May 1st of 1776. So what?
Yeah, that's the one that Adam Weishaupt
Right.
founded. It's supposed to be a group. They started out really good. It seemed like they were wanting to change things from the inside. And they weren't, they weren't behind the scenes balls like they become now. They were more wanting to try and get behind the scenes and sort of in a controlling way. Their thing was control without seeing something that affected. They pissed off the Catholic Church and all the they had some fairly, they influenced people like Wolfgang von Goethe, Goethe, one of the more romantic era poets. So they had a lot of high rollers in their society at the time.
Also, what I
It's like
found,
any group where you get more than two people, and if they start to get factions.
right?
Go ahead.
And what I found too is that the Masons got involved with the Illuminati by pulling in some of the key Master Masons infiltrated and were a part of the Illuminati. That's where the Illuminati and Mason contacts come into play. Have you heard anything about that one?
Right. They even got into it with the Rosicrucians at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had gotten. They had actually, once they reached out to the Masons, is when some of the internal strife started, because you had, they had the so-called the Council Provincials, and then the Areopagites. I don't want to say that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of butt heads. One was trying to run things underneath, and the other one was trying to be up front. Kind of like you have the real IRA, and then you have Sinn Féin, the political IRA. There was that kind of dissent going on in the body, because when Weishaupt, one of the founders, and started giving him a lot of power, a lot of authority, then they started, they became bitter enemies shortly thereafter. So that was the beginning of the end for the Bavarian-rooted Illuminati.
Yeah, Did you know that George
Then it was just,
Washington
you know,
and almost all of our
infighting and
founding
decline.
fathers were also Masons?
Yes. And if you look at, there's a guy I've heard talk about the Masonic symbolism of Washington, D.C., just the way the original streets are laid out and the way the politics and the Great Seal is all Masonic.
Right.
It's, IQ above 20, they tried to get in. You know, the great thinkers, they tried to get in as Masons. It was the club, so-called, it was the club to be in back then.
Right. Like the Washington Monument is an obelisk, which represents Baal Shaft, which is the symbol for awakening. Now, there's also Aleister Crowley was a Mason, and he was started the Order of the Silver Star, which all points to Sirius, the planets.
Huh. I did not. I had heard that Aleister Crowley was quite possibly a spy, among other things, for the British, but I'd never heard about him being a Mason.
Yeah, now this is coming from...
Everybody assumes, you know, if you hear Aleister Crowley, you think, oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, now if you go on the Illuminati website...
Those churches are not really...
Say it again?
All right.
All right.
I'm almost wondering if the blowback, like certain churches, like you can't be a Mason, and I'm wondering if that's just blowback from when the Illuminati lost favor.
I would agree with that.
They do have an official website.
Yeah, because if you look at the Masons actually...
I have so much.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the Masons, they are very much pagan beliefs. And like we were talking, I think as you and I were talking the other day, that the Masons, most of our founding fathers were actually Masonic. And they had to hide their beliefs from the Christians and from the, what am I trying to think? The colonial. Much like the witches during the witch burnings and whatnot had to hide their covens. And so to hide their beliefs, they threw in scripture and they threw in Christian foundations, which in all reality, everyone thinks it's a Christian founded nation, but it's not. Because their true beliefs were hidden.
I've heard that. It seems like there was another group that Jefferson was part of that wasn't necessarily Masonic, and I can't remember what it was. But I can see where they did, they threw God out there in their definition of it. You can't. I understand that they had to couch their beliefs in a Christianity, so the Puritan roots of the country wouldn't go ape crap. We're still suffering in the 21st century. We're still suffering from our Puritan roots, the very beginnings of this nation in Jamestown and thereof, because it's just that total lockdown. I don't know, the Puritan way. But I can
Right.
understand why they would have had to couch their true beliefs and
Exactly.
belief as a
And I'm taking political science right now, and it's
camouflage.
huh? Okay.
Fact that you heard.
Yeah. Political science is interesting. Seeing how they had to change everything and convince people that the Constitution would be the best way to go, and they wouldn't add the Bill of Rights in before everyone signed. They added the Bill of Rights in afterwards. So I'm actually learning quite a bit.
You still had the states' rights people and the Federalists, and
Right.
it's amazing anything got done at all.
It is. It seriously is.
He was. Trying to.
So now it's funny because there's an Illuminati website and they claim to be the true Illuminati and that anyone else is fake. and they encourage people to join them. Well, to me, going by the history of what I consider the true Illuminati is the Bilderbergs and the Masons and the ones that control everything of the 1% in power.
Yeah, I don't think I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the official Illuminati website. I don't think they're the same people we're talking about. Hey, that's
right, and straight from
IlluminatiOfficial.org. Yes.
Yeah. Now, straight from their website, it says citizens loyal to the ideals of the Illuminati and who seek membership in our organization are often referred to as followers of Illumination. They are free to choose any life path they desire and follow any morals they wish, providing that their beliefs are always to the interest of the human species as a whole. Followers of Illumination forego religious, geographical, and generational differences to work as one unit with many distinct parts, accepting that each part must be unique to function properly. For decades, a multitude of individuals have operated under the name of the Illuminati. Their deceit clouds public perception of our organization, causing many citizens to believe that wrongdoings are committed by our command. They use the word command. Really? For anyone to claim that the Illuminati is affiliated with a religious belief, be it God or Satan, Baphomet or Baal, undermines the very purpose of our independence from human divisions. We neither accept nor deny any deity and hold none to be higher than any other. We operate solely for the benefit of the human species we have been entrusted to protect. So, that sounds like God syndrome to me.
Yeah, that's more like the original Bavarian version, the way they espouse that. And gee, how much does it cost to be an Illuminati?
I have no idea. If you want to look that up, I'd be curious myself. Huh? So while we're at
it says right on there for the no ship fee, donations not accepted. So there's no follow the money on this one.
So you can join the Illuminati for free. No thanks.
Yes.
So, the Skull and Bones.
On
Or
the
founded by-
outside, to receive messages from the Illuminati, or to receive messages from the Illuminati or apply for membership, you must confirm your information in the form below. And under that, no membership fee, donations not accepted. So you the website, the TV commercials, none of this stuff is free, so somebody's footing the bill somewhere.
Yeah.
But this
And
is
I would
not the
say-
organization I think is.
I'd be curious who's footing that bill. Now, the Skull and Bones was founded by William Huntington Russell and Alfonso Taft, the father. I can't even read my own writing. He was the Secretary of War and Attorney General, founded in Germany and moved to Yale University. And that's actually where you see the Skull and Bones the most, in Yale. And of course, that's where the Bushes went and were members of the Skull and Bones. And I'm pretty sure all the presidents were.
That's
Say again?
okay. I see what you're talking about on that, but does it ever say who they are? I mean, they've named it Skull and Bones, make you think that there's somewhere in there there's they've robbed a grave somewhere and they've got some artifacts. Does it ever come out and say who they are?
The Skull and Bones? I've got a list of them somewhere, actually.
Yeah. It's like a whole collection. It's Order of the Skull. Okay, I see. Order of the Skull. Yeah, when you're what's out there, they seem like just a benign sort of a schoolboy prank type of thing.
Right.
Considering
And now the
what's
Masons,
come out of there, it's not much of a prank.
the Masons are funny because they believe in going back to Atlantis. You ever hear about that one? And the Boy Scouts of America.
I have heard that they go back, pre-Egyptian, and that they were actually the ones who have the secret of how the pyramids were built and their legends around the Masons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And then you
I
got
think all Masons not. I get the impression from the Masons I know that not all Masons are, shall we say, created equally.
mm-hmm.
And different versions. And I knew somebody who got blackballed at one Masonic lodge and became a major leader in one 10 miles down the road in another community. So it's like there's the Masons and then there's the Masons. I don't know how the hierarchy works itself, but it seems like there's more than you've got the black Masons that they're not necessarily recognized by the other Masons. There's a lot of infighting with the organization, whether that's just a smoke screen or whether it's true. If there's this much, either be getting much done behind the scenes because they're just too fractious.
Yeah, now the Boy Scouts of America was founded by Daniel Carter Beard, who was also
they
a
were
Freemason.
the ones who killed Mozart.
Who was that?
Who was?
Yeah.
You said Beard?
Oh, yeah, the Boy Scouts of America was founded by Daniel Carter Beard, who was also a Freemason.
Wow.
And
Huh.
as far as the Skull and Bones,
Oh, okay. The founded
before it got moved to Yale, General William Huntington Russell, the founder of the Skull and Bones, was in the University of Germany, and it was moved to America. And the Illuminati actually started as a group of Freemasons by Adam Weishaupt, who was a 33rd degree Freemason. He was
Okay,
a
so
law professor.
they were a group inside the Masons.
Right. The Illuminati was started by Freemasons.
Huh.
Now, Reverend G.W. Schneider received a letter from George Washington about the presence of the Illuminati in America. And if you look up the Adams-Jefferson letters, I believe we can read about that. So George Washington, being a Mason and knowing the Illuminati was infiltrating the Masonic temple, or the Masonic organization, actually was trying to warn people that the Illuminati were going to try to manipulate the American Constitution.
Wow. Now, is this something they're teaching you? Is this something you found out, or is this in your political science course? This doesn't sound like something they necessarily want to let the cat out of the bag in that one.
No, this is what I learned through my own research. They ain't gonna tell me this in politics.
Okay.
And again, folks, my research got kind of held up because I was without internet for 2 weeks, and then I started school this last week. So yeah, my time's being juggled. So
I've got the never-ending move from one house to the other over the last 3 weeks.
right, and we might actually get S4 running 2 nights a week. We'll see how things go and see how many listeners we get, and get this thing running smooth. And there you go. Then we'll take off. So what are you finding out?
Well, I'm looking into they've sanitized the letters between Adams and Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Probably have not be able to find it online. But the whole thing with the Masons and talk about brain fart.
Illuminati.
Atlantis.
Oh,
Yeah.
I watched a video.
I was trying to.
Now, I don't believe everything all videos tell me. It depends on who's speaking and what their background is. And I watched a 3-hour video documentary on the history of the Masons. And it actually had the Masonic Museum or library in California. And he was a 33rd degree Mason. And so all this information is verifiable. And yeah, it's just amazing. I'll have to post this video in Forest Moon and spread it around.
Yeah, how the Masons built the Temple of Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. And it's a
I had heard once that the reason that they don't know how the pyramids were built is because the Masonic was a Masonic. That the Masons actually do know how cool Masons that the others have sprung from, but like the father group actually knows what techniques they use for making the pyramids. That's why they've never found any papyri in their blueprint. It's because it's been hidden successfully all these generations by the Masons.
and here's the thing, and here this answers the question why
Of course,
you
you can
find
find out
pyramids.
just about anything you want to do. You can link the Masons to anything you want.
Well, yeah, and I remember it was Roundtable
You want
or
now?
it was Spaced Out Radio where somebody asked why there's pyramids in the Middle East and why there's pyramids here. You find pyramids everywhere. Well, if the Masons were behind the building of the pyramids, there you go, because they started in Europe. Pretty well, actually, like you said, I think they started in Egypt. They infiltrated Europe, and then they came to America. So you're going to find pyramids everywhere if the Masons were behind it. And then, hell, you even have the pyramid on the Dollar
And you
Bill.
find with the all-seeing eye, a new world order, the Great
Exactly.
Seal.
Yep. So I mean, if the Masons are so ballsy as to put their own symbolism on our currency, you know who's behind our government.
Right.
Which is also why I say
Okay. Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you're going to vote for because it's already been decided who's going to win.
Right. I think Soros came out and said that. I read somewhere where George Soros says the presidency of Hillary Clinton's already in the bag, even though Trump will win the popular vote. So I guess there's no secret.
No, there's you can vote who you want to,
Okay,
and
that was going to
but
happen anyway. I don't
Hillary
think there's
was
been
chosen.
I don't think that.
No, Hillary was chosen over 20 years ago. That's why if you watch Fahrenheit 9/11 by David Moore, I think it's David Moore. Um, you'll actually see in the very beginning of the movie where Bush actually lost the presidency, but he won anyway, and that was during the Florida recount. They couldn't let Bush not win because he was chosen anyway. Same thing's going to happen with Hillary.
I don't think there's been an actual. We send our political. We'll talk about some backwards country that doesn't have three nickels to rub together, and we're over there interfering, trying to bring them, democracy and making sure their elections aren't rigged with observers. It's like we haven't had I don't think we've had an election in this country since probably Reagan that wasn't rigged at some level. It seemed
No,
like the level of incompetency that's hit the White House in the last 40 years we had ourselves.
no, this government was corrupt from the very beginning of it. Which is another reason.
Michael Moore, Fahrenheit 9/11.
There you go. Not David. It was Michael Moore. Look up Michael Moore, Fahrenheit 9/11. Um, I don't
Right.
like I don't like talking 9/11 because well, it's overdone. So next Sunday night when we do
Right.
our 9/11 show, we are going to talk about where you and I were when 9/11 happened. And then we're going to go into terrorism in America. And
Yeah, that was a weird day for me because I remember my dad calling me up and telling me about it. Tell me, you better turn on TV and see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that right now, though, because that's next Sunday's show. And it's going to be an eye-opener.
A good one.
I learned a lot going to Iraq. I learned a lot about how deep the corruption goes in the government. And yeah, it's going to be a good show next week. I didn't get a chance to print out my list, but I've got a list of all the Bilderberger members. I've got a list of all the Bohemian Grove members. I've got a list of the Skull and Bones. And we might do a separate show just on the Bilderbergers alone.
Yeah, that goes back a ways.
It does, and
the Bilderberg group.
And it all intertwines with the Masons and the Illuminati.
Let's see. Let me check something out here. Seems like that. Okay. Huh.
What you finding out?
I didn't realize that David Petraeus was a member of the Bilderberg group.
Even Zuckerberg
went down in flames.
Yeah, even Zuckerberg with Facebook is part of it.
Wow. They don't seem to. They don't worry about being out in the open, do they? I mean, it's considered secretive, but it seems like you can figure out what they're going to do, who's going to be at the next agenda, or at least it's proclaimed.
Okay, let's talk Bilderberger. Paul Achleitner of the Deutsche Bank in Germany is a Bilderberger. Thomas Ehrenkiel of the Danish Intelligence Service is a Bilderberger. You've got Roger Altman, the executive chairman of Evercore here in America. You've got Zoe Baird, CEO and president of the Markle Foundation. I'm just hitting the USA ones. You got William Burns of International Peace, the Carnegie Endowment for the International Peace. Thomas Donilon of Myers LLP. You got Regina Dugan, the Vice President for Engineering and Advanced Technology and Projects for Google. Mary Erdoes, CEO of JP Morgan Asset Management.
Sounds like a who's who.
Yep. You got Martin Feldstein, the President of Emeritus, Professor of Economics at Harvard University. Niall Ferguson of the Gunsberg Center for European Studies. Kenneth Griffin, the founder and CEO of Citadel Investment Group. Reid Hoffman of Link, Kenneth Jacobs, Chairman and CEO of Lazard, or Lazard, James Johnson, the Chairman of the Johnson Capital Partners, Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir Technologies, Henry Kissinger of Kissinger Associates, Klaus Kleinfeld, the Chairman and CEO of Alcoa, Henry Kravis of Kohlberg Kravis Roberts and Company,
Former
Stuart Levy of the HSBC Holdings,
David Petraeus.
General Petraeus.
Well, how much? Zbigniew Brzezinski. Yeah, General Petraeus is. I don't know if he still is since he went down in flames with his mistress and everything.
Right.
But seems like you can take. There was a book by G. Edward Griffin called "The Creature from Jekyll Island," talking about central bankers and financiers of the day, sort of setting the policy for what would happen. And it seems like a lot of the building here now came, might have gotten its origins at that meeting with the Federal Reserve. That was, I think it was robber barons, so to speak, what we called the robber barons of the the financiers of the early 19th century.
Well, here we got John Micklethwaite from Bloomberg, Craig Mundy from Mundy and Associates, there's another Google, wow. Eric Schmidt. Some of these companies I haven't heard of before.
Somebody's got two nickels to rub together is going to be in that group.
Well, here's Goldman Sachs. So you can see where our money is going.
Sorry. Yeah. You can tell they're not afraid to eat their own. You see the places that have gone.
Okay, hold on a sec. That's the wrong file. I'm pulling up Bohemian Grove as well.
Okay.
Here we go. Here's Bohemian Grove.
I think they're fake, though.
Bohemian Grove members: Nicholas Acker, Frank Ainsworth.
It's actually on it.
I have a list that even shows what camp they were with.
Wow.
Robert Aiken.
That's one
John
in
Fellows Acres. Eddie Albert, Lamar Alexander, Wallace Alexander, Charles Allen, Marlon Anderson. I'm looking for familiar names though. James Baker. Do we know a Bancroft? Alex Jones actually infiltrated Bohemian Grove.
Bancroft. And Bancroft. Oh, did he?
Stephen Bechtel.
Wow.
Stephen David Bechtel Sr., both of them. And wait to see a Bush.
Quite a list. Yeah. I wonder.
Harry Brady.
Well, there's Norton Bush.
Huh?
There's a Norton Bush.
Here's William
I
Buckley.
don't know if he's in relation of. No.
Yeah, there he is, George H.W. Bush.
See, the William F. Buckley.
Yep. William Buckley, David Burns. Here's both Bushes. Actually, George H.W. Bush was in the hillbilly camp.
Wow.
Richard Butler.
Tennessee Erd.
Now, which Clinton are we going to see?
Wow. Here again. This is another group that's got it. It's like members. It's not one of those groups that throws out some camouflage. You know, Theodore Roosevelt was an honorary member.
Oh, I have no doubts. The one we need to have on here talking about this is Christina George.
Yes.
Because she actually lived outside, or she knew about Bohemian Grove personally.
Wow.
Let's see if Trump is in here. This is about a 40-page document I've got, by the way. Got Warren Payne. Donald Rumsfeld. Really?
It goes back because Ambrose Bierce was a founding member. Who?
Donald Rumsfeld.
Oh, yeah. I remember back when he was catching hell that they brought that up. I had heard that on another. You look at the people that founded it, though, and it's not, Ambrose Bierce, the author. Most known for occurrence at current Owl Creek Bridge. Now there's an interesting story in its own right.
What's that?
Because it seems like I'm thinking of the right person. Yeah.
I don't see Dick Cheney or Donald Trump.
One of these guys. Okay, literary works. He had an interest. He walked into the Ambrose Bierce just walked into a field and disappeared one day, supposedly. But he was one of the founding members.
Which one's that?
So that goes back. Ambrose Bierce was the founding members of the Bohemian Grove. He's one of the founding members.
Okay, real quick. Let's see, I've got Brent Abel. He was the president of the California Bar Association, 1974-75, director, U.S. Trust of Delaware. He is in Bohemian Grove. Robert Adams. I've got details on all these people so we know exactly who they are. He was a U.S. anthropologist. He served as the provost of the University of Chicago from 82 to 84. And he was the secretary of the Smithsonian Institute from 84. Member of the Council on Foreign Relations. He's part of the Sun Dodgers. These are the actual camps that they belong to in Bohemian Grove. Then we got William Adams, director at XTO. We have Gustav Adolf, mentioned as an honorary member by Time Magazine
Wow,
in
that's
1929. Here's John Akers, Yale Delta Kappa Epsilon, joined IBM in 1960 as a sales trainee in San Francisco following active duty as a Navy carrier pilot. President IBM Data Processing Division in 1974. And these are all Bohemian Grove, folks. Here's an American actor born Eddie Albert, born in 1908, had his career from the 1940s until the 80s. He's part of the Owl's Nest. Got Lamar Alexander, became governor of Tennessee in 1978, founder of the Corporate Child Care Services in 87, became president of University of Tennessee in 88, director of Lockheed Martin, founder of Republican Neighborhood Meeting, lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Joseph.
Well, let's see. There's a Tennessee. Ernie Ford was a member, the singer.
That's sad. We're going to do a whole show just on Hollywood.
Oh.
And the Illuminati.
There's a lot of hip hop artists that say that the Illuminati are screwing with controlling the music industry.
No, I have no surprise or no doubts about it. But here's Joseph Alioto, the mayor of San Francisco, from 68 to 76, president of the San Francisco National Bank, Bohemian Grove.
Wow.
And rumor has it, I have no proof for founding, but rumor has it they actually do human sacrifice there. That'd be another one for Christina George to confirm.
During the spring jink, they call. Huh. And the ship is male only. Private Bohemian Club takes a variety of forms with membership regularly offered to new university presidents and to military commanders stationed in the San Francisco Bay Area. Huh.
I know this name. You ever heard of James Bancroft?
I guess it limits itself to 2,700. James Bancroft?
Yeah, chairman, United Nuclear Corporation. Here's Paul Bancroft, independent venture capitalist and a consultant director of Unova since 1998. John Barry, writer and scholar. And I have no doubt the Illuminati goes to Bohemian Grove. And as you
There's
follow
got to be some
S4,
crossover there.
oh yeah, because as you follow S4, you're gonna find ties with all this stuff. This is just the first of our shows.
Yeah, this ties. Looks like it all goes into like a central. I'll bet you if you could get bona fide member lists of the hierarchy, the people at the top of these organizations, there'd be several names being all those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's why, if you want to fight the Illuminati, stick with small business, mom and pop stores.
Right.
You take away their money, which ain't gonna help a whole lot, but it will, because they control the money. So as I said, next week we're going to talk about terrorism in America and where we were
The
during
Masons
9/11.
split from.
I'm going to go over our schedule real quick. September 18th, we're going to talk FEMA camps, martial law,
Okay.
and the UN. September 25th, we're going to talk HARP, chemtrails, and geoengineering. October 9th, we're going to talk MK Ultra and mind control. October 16th, we're going to discuss missing persons theories of the paranormal. October 23rd is Paracon wrap-up and overview. October 30th, we're going to hit Philadelphia experiment. November 6th will be Philip Schneider's story. November 13th will be alien hollow earth theories. If you have a topic you want to hear, folks, throw them up on Forest Moon Paranormal or contact me directly.
Yeah. Wow. Do a search on Illuminati and Bohemian Grove and just look at the images. Crazy.
Yeah. They got some grotesque stuff, I know. You gotta watch the video.
Yes. That's
Now, what did you find in your research that you did that was pre-Bavarian Illuminati? I know you were saying
very
you had
little
ties.
comes behind.
Did you have ties that you saw going back to Egypt?
Yeah, it just seems like they're, if you go, well, Masons I did. Illuminati, it doesn't really, it doesn't look to me like it was codified as the Illuminati before the Bavarian groups. That it's almost like there was something going on that's like a sub of the Masonic orders that it didn't really become. Well, shoot, I lost my.
So basically, what we can feasibly.
It wasn't until that
the Masons were the beginning, and they started the Illuminati.
Right.
So our tie-in can go to the Masons.
And then the Illuminati split from the Masons, and they Yeah, it seems like before Bavaria, there was this like-minded, I don't know, it was almost like this group within the Masons.
Yeah, there
And
was
then they were actually codified by Adam Weishaupt and the Bavarian Illuminati. It was like a group within a group.
the twisted one.
Before that, there's really no defined much in the way of other than, just some vague. We're in the Masonic order, but that wasn't until it was in 1776 that they actually became a cohesive. The Illuminati became a cohesive group, a society within, with their bylaws, their mission statement and everything didn't come up until May 1st of 1776. Before that, it was like a subcurrent of Mason. What's the word for history? It was I'm sure it was like when they'd get together in their meetings, and then this corner would be the Illuminati types. They founded to oppose. Kind of irony hits everything that is founded. Everything that's founded like that, it already has the seeds of its own destruction in its founding.
All right. We have Christopher Fisher in the chat. Outstanding. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Christopher. Glad you found this, Chris.
So, what we've deduced, we're having Skype issues here, Christopher. But what we've deduced is the Masons started the Illuminati. The Masons can be tied back to Egyptian times, where they moved into Europe, and that's where I believe the Bavarian Illuminati started with the Master Masons, and then they moved to America. And the new Illuminati, with their wonderful little website, I would say is a joke. And possibly, if you look at them, just a way of getting people's information.
Let me see something. It looks. This could get into some really.
I'm going to have a lot more information for the next Illuminati or Masonic show we do. This is just an intro to the Illuminati because it's going to go a lot deeper.
Well, this is one of those things that the more. I mean, you go down. This really is like going down the rabbit hole.
Well,
because
we're going to go down the rabbit
find
hole, rabbit out.
into it, the further, the further
I'm going to give these folks a link where
Yeah,
they can
there's
find the Masonic.
some of the Illuminati, some of the Illuminati way back to the fall of Lucifer.
If you go to UFOTV.com, you can find the Masonic history video. It's a 3-hour video,
Wow.
and it covers everything, right to the beginning when George Washington was in the Masons. Thomas Jefferson was in the Masons. All of them were Masons.
Wow.
Very eye-opening and enlightening video for sure. And you could actually do background checks or history checks of all the speakers. But all the speakers, they even had skeptics in there that couldn't really refute. But yeah, what we've deduced, like I said, for all the listeners that decide to go back and listen to our archive, is it all started with the Masons back in Egyptian times. Probably with the Rothschilds. If you look at the bloodlines of the Rothschilds and who is it, Sachs, and all of them, the Master Masons got together. They infiltrated the Masonic organization, and they're the ones who started the actual Bavarian Illuminati. Then they moved to America. There's letters from George Washington. Let me pull my note up. Letters from George Washington to a reverend that he was concerned about the Illuminati's influence of America. You won't find that, and it's actually from the history of the video I watched. You can find it in the National Archives, that particular letter. Yes, I watch videos and I take notes.
Yeah, if it hadn't been
That's where my
stolen.
research comes from.
Oh, William.
Hey, William.
William's joined
Good to
us.
see you here.
Hi, William. Glad you came back again.
We are having Skype issues, William, so bear with the show for tonight. It is the first show under the Spaced Out Radio banner. You can go back in the archive from when I listed our schedule for earlier. We do have a schedule put up of all the show topics next week for 9/11. Since it falls on a Sunday, we're going to discuss where we were during 9/11 and terrorism in America. We're not going to actually go into the 9/11 theories because they're all they get talked about so much. It's old hat. So we'll discuss terrorism in general, and it's going to be an eye-opening show because I am going to go into where I was versus what I saw in Iraq that the government was doing, and how they just love to pinpoint everything on the Muslims. I don't know if it's Spreaker or not, William, versus Skype. Because I know Markham is breaking up on my end, so I'm pretty sure he's probably breaking up in the radio. It might be partially my internet, I'm not sure. I know I sound clear on my end, but I don't know how it's coming through on Spreaker either. But earlier we did go into a little bit of the history of Forest Moon Paranormal. For those that are new to Forest Moon Paranormal, oh, you're getting echo? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. You say I'm I'm getting some echo with you.
We might also be getting some lag. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be real time, but I know even with Spaced Out Radio, it's about a 5-second lag as well. But I know,
That
like
could
I said,
explain.
I
That
know,
could
like I
explain a
said
lot.
earlier,
Yeah.
I know, like I said earlier, with my political science class I'm taking, I have to really bite my tongue because I don't want to come across to a political science professor about the conspiracy side of this government. But the government was corrupt right from the beginning. Considering even our founding fathers were Masons. I did bring up the fact that, as much crap as they talked about slave owners, our founding fathers themselves were slave owners. So how are you going to call the kettle black and talk down on slave owners when you yourself own slaves?
Yeah, Jefferson, Washington.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, Mount Vernon was a huge place to run, and he did it was he anticipated him upon his death. But
Hmm. And here's the thing. You see, um, in Iraq, we paid the Iraqis $1 a day. They actually waited at the gate of the base, and we paid them $1 a day. Our unit did, and that was open to any unit. And they came in, they dug ditches, they did whatever we needed to have done. And to me, it seemed like slavery just in that alone. But $1 a day for them paid their rent and fed their family for a whole month. So I guess, was it really slavery since we paid them $1 a day? Probably not. It just felt like it to me.
there's no history of that because I remember I never got to serve on the West Coast. When I got on the East Coast, they were stationed in like Subic Bay, or if you were in Okinawa, you found a mama-san who came in, did your laundry, cleaned your house, and it was like next to nothing because the dollar was so strong against the local currency, the yen or whatever, that $20 a week was like $200 a week.
Right.
At the very top in a slide for so long.
But at the same time, though, in Korea, that wasn't a combat zone. So it almost felt like being in Iraq, it being a combat zone, we were taking advantage of the locals.
Oh, they did that in the Philippines as well.
Right.
I mean, it was, the Philippines. I won't repeat what they told me it was, but it sounds like it was a wild place to be if you at the time.
Now, yeah, my dad was in the Philippines.
Good old puritanical Norfolk.
Yeah, my dad was in the Philippines. I guess.
Half the stories I've heard.
It's good to see our chat room work.
I don't even want to know. Midwestern farm boy like me has no business knowing that kind of stuff. Oh, they said William said they paid the Filipinos in Saudi the same rate. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of Filipinos, Pacific Islanders that work Arab states. I know people that in my profession have done, they've gone to Saudi because the money. At my age, I wouldn't want to do it. Maybe if I'd have done it fresh out of school, but I don't think it'd be something I'd want to do now. But apparently, it's very, very good money. You work for 5 years and you come home and retire.
Exactly. So
I hear the pitter patter of little feet in the background there.
yeah, no, they're right outside my door. Now, William, just to recap what we've done, what we've discussed. We through our research, we've found that the Masons were actually the very beginning. The Master Masons, a certain number of them, infiltrated the main Mason organization, and they started the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati, which came to America. Now, if you look through the National Archives, you will find a letter from George Washington to a reverend, where George Washington, being a Mason but not Illuminati, was concerned about the Illuminati infiltration of America. Yeah, not the sneezing fit. So I would say the Illuminati you have today are probably the one percenters and the jerk offs that you have in the government now. And the Masons, I believe, ultimately have kind of petered off. So real quick to recap what our schedule is going to look like, and for people that download the archive and want to listen to the archive later, we will be hitting Illuminati, Bohemian Grove, Masons through various shows because there's a lot to cover and a lot of research to do to get it all right. But next week, we will be discussing 9/11, not the conspiracy side, but where Markham and I were when 9/11 happened. I know I was in the military when it happened, so I can go into what happened in Iraq, government-wise. And so that's going to be next week's show. It's going to be eye-opening. It's going to be deep. On the 18th, we're going to hit FEMA camps, martial law, and the UN. Maybe put some theories and some rumors to rest, because I don't think the UN's here. I think they're here, but I don't think there's going to be any martial law coming into play, considering we only have 3 months for them to do anything before the general election. On the 25th, we're going to discuss HAARP, chemtrails, and geoengineering. October 9th, we're going to hit MK Ultra and mind control. The 16th, we're going to hit missing persons theories of the paranormal type. The 23rd, we're going to hit after the Paracon. We're going to discuss how the Paracon went and some of the overviews. October 30th, we're going to hit Philadelphia experiment. November 6th, we're going to hit the Philip Schneider story. And the 13th, we're going to hit alien hollow earth theories. There's a lot to cover, and we have plenty of time to cover it. Now on the UN, hitting the UN topics real quick. I've been getting pictures sent to me. I've been getting people concerned about martial law. I don't think it's going to happen. Obama is supporting Hillary. Hillary is supported by the Illuminati. it doesn't matter who you're going to vote for. Hillary's going to win because it was decided 30, 40 years ago. Just like Bush back in, was it 2008, I think was the election. And he lost. But within a matter of minutes, all of a sudden he won. It's going to be the same thing. The UN's not here. Oh, their vehicles are built in, I think it's Michigan. So the convoys of UN vehicles people are seeing could be going to the port to be shipped off to India, Indonesia, wherever. UN's not interested in what we're doing. They got too much going on in third world countries. And even if, like I always say, even if they were involved, they're so weak, we've had to actually bail them out of every mission they've been in. Somalia, Kuwait, Iraq. We've had to bail them out. So they don't worry me none. U.S. government and the militarization of the police departments, that worries me more than the UN does. Half the pictures, I got sent a picture a couple days ago. The guys were wearing ACUs, and the concern was there weren't bumper numbers on the back of the military vehicles. But I explained to them, look, when we deploy, when I went to Iraq, we left all of our equipment in Iraq. We came back to Fort Lewis. We drew all new equipment. That means they probably didn't have time to put the bumper numbers on their trucks. But it was a military convoy. It was not UN. Another picture I've seen from other people, we're taken right out of a damn movie. That's not a UN convoy. So I don't worry about it. All these people that are stockpiling weapons, to me, are fools because you can only shoot one weapon at a time. And when they come in, if they decide to come in and take your weapons, there's really not much you can do about it because they're going to overrun you. You can only shoot one weapon at a time. If you want to stockpile anything, stockpile bullets. But you can have all the AR-15s you want, but you're going to be overrun. If they want to take your weapons, they're going to. But do they want to? I don't think so. That's my take on it from a military perspective.
No, it'd be a bloodless. I think it would be a bloodless coup. I think they're going to wear the people down to the point where I think as soon as anything happens, they'll look better than the alternative.
I think where they need to focus isn't on gun control, but it's on mental health. The wrong people are getting their hands on weapons. Second Amendment, if you look at the Second Amendment, it was designed with muzzle loaders in mind. They haven't been updating the Constitution like they were intended to, because I've learned a lot in this political science class in that when they designed the Constitution, it was supposed to be amended and updated every 19 years. There have been 27 amendments since it was created. And we're long overdue for an overhaul. I have no problem with same-sex marriage. That wasn't a part of the Constitution back then. That was civil rights. Second Amendment, not everyone needs to have weapons. If you have a felony, you shouldn't have a weapon. If you have any kind of criminal background, you shouldn't have a weapon. If you have a severe mental health issue, you shouldn't have a weapon. Not everyone needs to have weapons. The NRA would argue with you on that, but come on now. And
another thing to consider as well, the founding fathers, to the founding fathers and the people who wrote the Constitution, we the people didn't mean what it means today. We the people then meant basically white landowners. If you didn't own land, you weren't landed, so to speak. you weren't part of the club. Like it would be people that own farms, the people that own plantations, the people that own buildings that or manufacture took place. People was not, six packs at the trailer park drawing welfare.
Right. And
so there's a lot. The audience they were playing to is different than what we have today, as far as who they were trying to make these rules for.
Exactly, because back then the women couldn't vote. If you're 18 to 21 or under 21, you couldn't vote. Obviously, slaves couldn't vote. I had to do all that research for my school, for my class. Because they did the three. All slaves were worth 3/5 of a human, or of one man. And so yeah, no, all my weapons I have in my house are all geared for hunting.
So that because the slave owners wanted to count them as population. The slave owners wanted to count the slaves as population.
Yeah.
So that they could have, for you could, population to get a representative. But they didn't. They weren't supposed to have a part of the politics.
No, that's exactly
that was just supposed to be a throwout to keep the South. That's supposed to keep Southerners from actually seating.
They wanted more chairs in the House of Representatives, so the more slaves that counted gave them more seats in the House, and that's all that was about.
Right.
And
that was a compromise. So it's been a compromise. Didn't work.
I'm a little excited about week 2 of this class because now we're going into civil rights, and it's a 2015 textbook. So they're actually going into Black Lives Matter and very current, updated topics. So looking forward to this class. It's only a 1-month class. Each class is a month, and I get to go into basic computer and algebra and terrorism and all that fun stuff. Which I'm really curious what Homeland Security sees as a terrorist in this class.
Learn Boolean. Where are you taking these classes? Is it at university?
It's Kaiser University. Kaiser University, which is based out of Florida.
Okay.
I'll get my associates January of, I think it's 2020, and then I'm going to turn right around and get my bachelor's.
Enjoyed school. I'd love to go back.
I think it's 2019 I graduate, not 20. Yeah, and the joy of it is my GI Bill pays for it, so I don't pay anything out of pocket. Plus, I get a stipend from the VA.
Huh.
So for me, it's free school. Well, I guess when you look at it, it's not free. I went to combat for it, so there you go.
Yeah, you paid for it. I think that's why they the GI Bill down so bad by when I was in, because we weren't at war. Joining the Navy and the Army in the 80s because there wasn't anything else to do. I had always, I came from a military family, So I had always, wanted to remember I was going to go into the Navy. From about the time I was in third grade on, I knew what I was going to do. But that was it. It's like they were there because there was, they were some small towns that didn't have anything to do. You either joined the Navy or you joined the Army. You did something in the military until you found your way.
Right. Yeah. Now, see, I joined in 80, end of 89, early 90.
Being a naive Michigan farm boy, a sailor.
Yeah. Now, in 1990, they offered the Montgomery GI Bill, which we put $100 a month for a year into a GI Bill. Then after 9/11, they upgraded it and made the post 9/11 GI Bill, which us old timers had the option of converting over to, which I did because it's a whole hell of a lot better benefits. Real quick, we have 20 minutes left to go. So I'm going to introduce real quick what Forest Moon Paranormal does and is about. And I'd like you to introduce yourself as the Spaced Out Radio Newswire and what makes you qualified to do
it. Well, actually, the way I ended up being the news director, nobody else would do it. And I said, well, I'll get started on this. Maybe, I'll give it some try and some people will join in. And no, it's ended up me. I enjoy it. I think what I've had to do is learn how to look at things.
No.
And how to vet it's really amazing. I knew that there was a puppet show, but
right. And what I want is, who is Eric Markham?
Well, Eric is a medical technologist who lives in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I work in a hospital laboratory. I work 7 on, 7 off, unless I get extra time. And basically, I'm just with a lot of interest and a lot of hobbies and a lot of collections and a very fierce interest in the paranormal and digging underneath the paint, so to speak. I like to find. I think I was a born scientist. It just took me a while to find a way to have it codified into the paper on the wall that says, I really am a scientist now. But musician, my job is what I do to fund all my hobbies. I'm the kind of guy that if you say that their house is haunted, you don't want to spend the night there, you will see me coming back with my, bottle or my sleeping bag, possibly a camera. I'm more about finding the finale than I am proving anything. If I can prove it a little along the way, well, that's fine. But that's not my goal. I just want to see, saw Bigfoot, could prove Bigfoot was there, be the one that disclosed, yeah, there really is a Bigfoot. I wouldn't destroy that species. But as far as finding it out for myself, oh yeah, that's, I want to go to my bed in the grave knowing what's real out there and what's not.
Exactly. You look at things from a scientific point of view, which is what we need. Along with the gun with silver bullets.
The more I look at the paranormal from yeah. I don't know. It seems like more. It's just there's science is going to be at a loss in the metaphysical because there's just no. I don't know. You just be lucky. Like when my ghost spoke to me, how would you know to have point? How would I have known to had some kind of recording device? It seems like a lot of times the reproducibility in the paranormal is not going to be there because it's such a famine type of thing. It's either going to happen or it doesn't. And even if you had video footage, honest to God, video footage of a ghost materializing out of the wall with Elvis and Bigfoot in tow, and it was God's honest truth, nobody would believe it because of Photoshop nowadays anyway. The reason I'm in it to find truth for myself, because who else, at the end of the day, who else does the truth matter to than the individual who's perceiving it? You can proclaim the truth all you want, or say you've got the truth and wave your flag, but nobody's going to, unless somebody's standing right beside you at the same time. It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. Now, my name's Eric Cooper. I run Forest Moon Paranormal. We've been up and running since 2000, oh God, let's see, 6. Forest Moon Grove, like I said in the beginning of the show, was our pagan organization, which supports pagans in the military. Still does, but it's very political with that because you can't find pagans in the military anymore because due to politics, pagans can't come out and talk about their belief anymore or that they are a belief or that they have that belief because we get discriminated against a whole lot. There is no pagan chaplain in the military. I've heard rumors about a chaplain in the Air Force, but there is not in the Army. So chaplains can step over you and pretty much shut you up. Your commands, if they're closed-minded, can shut you up. So Forest Moon Grove is our pagan organization that stands for pagan issues. Forest Moon Paranormal is the branch off of that, and up until about 2010 was dormant. 2010 is when we started up our astral group. And so we are an international pagan network, or a paranormal network. We handle cases internationally. I did 19 and a half years in the Army. I was screwed out of retirement by 6 months. That's irrelevant. I really don't care. I did 4 combat tours. So basically, you will find many military members that are involved in the paranormal fields are much fearless than the normal paranormal investigator. I think you could agree with that, Markham. But you will find there are a lot of
Yes. You've been there, done that.
Exactly. And you will find that a lot of ex-military that get involved in the paranormal fields will face things head on, whether it's Bigfoot, alien abduction, aliens, spirits, it doesn't matter. We don't back off. We don't back down. We go in. With Forest Moon Paranormal, now real quick, with credentials, I'm OSHA inspection certified. I can look at a building and tell if it's a mundane reason or if it's paranormal. I don't run in saying everything's paranormal right away. I've also got crisis management training. I'm working on Homeland Security training right now. I've got hazmat training. With Forest Moon Paranormal, we cover everything from hauntings to Bigfoot. I've had Bigfoot experiences. I've had UFO sightings. I've had alien species encounters. I've actually walked into a time warp, I guess. I can't think of how to explain it, but I saw Hitler himself with his entourage back in the 90s in Germany. Our vision went to black and white. It was a very odd experience. It lasted about 10 minutes. And so, yeah, I've lived the gamut the gamut of paranormal, which is why I got the paranormal group started. You can find Forest Moon Paranormal on Facebook. Just search for us. Join the group. We have a huge library. Listen to Spaced Out Radio. They are our umbrella. They are our affiliate. Go to www.spacedoutradio.com. They're on 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every night, 7 days a week. And I think we're going to wrap it up, Marco.
All
So
right.
on that note, I hear the music start. I'm doing it, Dave. See y'all next week. Same time, same place. Talk about 9/11. Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.